Hi guys, welcome back. So we're here now at Moto Atelier with Gilbert. Gilbert,
Hello.
manager,
Yeah, manager.
shop owner,
All of the above.
all of the above. Uh, so we're here with Gilbert. So we're going to be talking about basically is uh, motorcycle maintenance
Right.
and how important it is, ano yung mga usual na intervals, and at the same time, we have a lot of people who's just getting into either riding a scooter for commute or even mga big bikes. Dami ngayon, di ba?
Yeah.
And they're getting into big bikes. What should they be investing on when it comes to accessories? No? So ikaw na rin explain what your shop is, what you guys do, and
Okay.
what you guys sell here. Okay, I'm handing it to you.
All right. To begin with, this is Moto Atelier or Moto Atelier. The name comes from the French term atelier, which is a workshop or a workspace. Pero since Pinoy tayo, atelier.
So doon ang galing yung
doon ang galing
yung word na talyer.
Yeah. So yun. So basically, we do multi-brand servicing, bike maintenance, big or small. We do accessory installation and yeah, everything in between. So wala naman tayong preference for brands or types of bikes that we work on. So
I like nga the shop eh. Kasi pagpasok ko pa lang, diretso ka. Pati yung motor mo naka-aircon na. So, you're literally here, waiting here while your bike is being serviced. I don't know if you guys can see, nandun. They're working on the Ducati. Ano lang, need to bleed the brakes kasi nga, nakita nila madilim na daw, maitim na yung brake and lumulubog na. So, they're servicing it now.
Right.
So, first is, servicing nga, yung how often and should they actually come to serve? Kasi marami naman hindi yan yung wala na yung out of warranty
Out of warranty,
Kasi within warranty there's a prescribed period.
Right.
And then especially if you're talking about the what do you call this? Not the commuter, the daily commuters.
Right.
They don't really get to use their bikes that often.
Right.
No? So what should they how what do you, ano tawag dito? What's your take on servicing?
Right. Well, for us, of course, we'd want to follow the manufacturer's recommended timetable, periodic maintenance schedule nila. So, usually for older bikes, usually for Japanese bikes, maintenance niyan before for like say bikes which are 10 years or older. If you follow the manual will tell you anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 kilometers, which is long for our standards. Dito tayo sa Pilipinas, sanay tayo, few thousand, 2,000 to 4,000 change oil. For smaller bikes, even sooner. Most scooters here, every 1,000 or every month nag-change oil yan, depending on how much you use it. So, yeah, as much as possible, I'd want, siyempre, there's a compromise between how much you're willing to spend and how much maintenance you really want to give to your bikes. So yung may iba, depending on their schedule and their budget, they'd probably half what the recommended PMS schedule is. So if the manual says like say 10, 15,000, they'll probably have it changed 5,000.
Pero
So, ganun.
should they follow that or should they follow number of months? Kasi di ba sa manual either parang
Right.
5,000 or 3
Right.
months
or whichever comes first.
Whichever comes first.
Pero yun din, again, the problem with us, especially with my client base, mostly mga big bikes kasi mga premium bikes which they don't tend to use often.
Leisure. We're talking about kasi mostly
not
the
commuter
leisure
bikes.
market.
Right. Not daily riders. So what happens is they tend to keep their bikes stored for longer periods of time than they ride it. So let's say in a year, the bike is basically parked more than half the year.
Pero they still need to do service.
Yeah, you still have to do it because siyempre may oil degradation run, like the brake fluids, it absorbs moisture pa rin kahit na even sinabi mong hindi ginamit. Over time, it's gonna like the hoses will age. So there's still stuff to do on the bike even if though you're not using it continuously.
So why is the interval shorter sa mga motorcycles compared sa kotse?
Sa kotse, because actually maraming factors pero mostly you could attribute it to the condition of how the car or the bike is being used now. So like motorcycles, it's always out in the elements. It's more exposed. Like say the brake fluids, the hoses, the other components like the radiator, everything's out in the open. So it's more susceptible to be damaged or like affected by corrosion, by dirt, debris, dust, putik, everything that, sa car kasi you can have it washed and then stored. Even if it's parked, the engine is sealed. I mean, it's not exposed to the elements. Motorcycle, you park it outside, even if it rains, matatalsikan pa rin yun ng konting tubig. Or even if it's parked outside na medyo may silong, yung hangin pa rin, dust will go everywhere on the engine. So, yun, meron pa rin wear and tear kahit paano.
And then you have probably yung, especially like the hose system na nakatatamaan ng araw, so there's UV, so that's why they get to age and crack most likely. As compared sa kotse, pag nasa ilalim ng hood, everything is in a dark, colder place. Okay. Pero when it comes to motorcycles, when it comes to kanina kasi our example was something like a 10-year-old Honda.
Okay.
Are newer motorcycle more required or a shorter intervals in servicing o hindi naman?
From experience, actually they don't require as much regular maintenance. I mean, the PMS schedules is further apart. Like on the modern bikes, the latest models, if you look at the manual, they'll tell you 12 to 15,000 kilometers between oil changes. And that's for regular use na. Which is pretty long compared to what you were used to. We can attribute that mostly because of the materials that they use. Better oil, better engine management system. So less contamination than sa fuels.
Kasi dati, wala pa nga. Back when we were working on the 80s, 90s na bikes, there wasn't synthetic.
Right.
So synthetics makes the oil last longer.
Right, because it won't break down as easily. Yeah. So you can assume that most modern bikes is more relaxed in terms of maintenance schedules.
So it's actually better now that ito yung point na mas importante yung synthetic sa organic.
Yes.
Kasi di ba in other cases, do organic, gano'n. Yeah. Pero this one, ito yung part na synthetic is actually better than organic.
I remember growing up, di ba? Nung una pa lang tayo nag-make bike back in the day. Pag sinabi mong synthetic, pangit yan, tutulo yan, tatagas yan, hindi yan pwede, di ba? Dapat yung mineral based lang tayo. Pangit yung synthetic. Hindi yan maganda kasi hindi yan totoong oil. Diba?
But
now it's different.
Now it's very different. Right. Kasi parang if you had an old bike, di ba sabi niya, don't use synthetic, don't use... Is that still the same? If you have an older bike, like you have a vintage bike, should you avoid synthetic?
It depends. But if the engine is still fairly stock, or fairly original, I'd say yes. I'd agree to keeping it on the old oil because of the materials that they used. Like the rubber seals, they're all designed for mineral-based lubricants. And then, like say, also fuel. Dati, hindi naman tayo nag-unleaded. So if you use that on older bikes with softer valve seals, then it's gonna leak over time because it's gonna eat the seals. So you still have to follow what it said in the manual because at the time they built the bike, the engineers would have known better than all of us.
Pero parang ang mas mahirap pa maghanap ngayon yata ng mineral oil.
Yeah, ganun na.
Yung pure mineral oil, kasi ang dami ngayon, it's either blended or synthetic.
Right.
Yun yung problem ngayon.
Right.
Okay, so at sa preno naman, I think that's very typical naman na you follow pretty much sa brakes in terms of the fluid this time.
Yes.
Because of the oxidation
Yes.
or ano. Pero sa mga brake pads naman, kahit hindi yung ginagamit, di naman naluluma. You don't have to replace it unless it's worn out?
Unless it's worn out or there's oil contamination on it or... Yeah, usually that's the main two factors lang. If it's contaminated or it's worn out. And then...
So di baling luma na yung brake pads, wag lang na-contaminate?
Yes.
Okay.
And then actually for the brake fluid, there's several things to consider also because there's several... Before, it was just DOT3. That was just a single standard. Now we also have DOT 4, 5, 5.1. So it depends on what your bike requires or what the owner requires of the bike. Because like DOT3, DOT4, and DOT 5.1 is all interchangeable. But the difference is the temperature, working temperature nila. So the maximum temperature I can what do you say, compensate. So kung anong
for it to be still be viscous pa rin,
yes.
parang ganon.
For it to be effective. Yung 5.1, DOT 5.1 is silicon-based. So that one, you can't mix it with a 3, 4, and 5.1. And then...
Who uses 5.1?
5.1, basically, it's well, usually pang race bikes yun. Or other bikes where na kailangan mo higher temperature na hindi... You won't, since it's silicon-based, you won't absorb moisture. Pero, then again, you can't use that on the regular bikes because if you mix it, it's gonna eat through the seals and the hoses.
So,
And it's
your bike has to be designed for 5.1.
Yes, or-
you cannot just... Can you just drain everything and then shift to 5.1?
You'd have to replace all the hoses and everything. But in ABS mode, you have to flush and work.
So you have to use hoses that can withstand 5.1.
It has to be clean.
It has to be clean.
just
Hindi lang sila pwede mag-mix.
Yeah, hindi lang pwede mag-mix. Yeah.
Pero
So, yun.
for
regular use,
regular use, I think wala okay lang eh, no?
Ngayon, yeah. Pero right now, yeah, pinaka-common is 4. Halos wala na gumagamit ng 3. So 3 and 4 is almost the same. 4 is just able to withstand higher temperatures. So you just go with the 4.
Oh, I think hindi naman yata tayo aabot sa point na yun unless you go really aggressive.
Right. For regular riding, commuting, yeah, you don't need anything better than that. Yeah. Ang mas importante lang is regular maintenance. Check the brakes,
check the brake fluid.
bleed it if you need to, or flush it every so often.
Kasi sa akin, well, that's why I'm having it serviced because I feel na parang biglang lumulubog na eh.
Right.
So that's most likely because the fluid is no longer fresh.
Right.
And at the same time, there's probably water and air that has
Actually,
mixed with it.
remember I showed you, we tested it with a hydrometer, diba? So nakita natin 4% na. So may 4% moisture content na siya. Ibig sabihin, over time, nag-absorb na siya ng moisture.
Nag-absorb siya ng water.
Kahit nandun siya nasa sealed na master cylinder, naka-absorb pa rin siya ng moisture.
Kasi kahit anong seal niya, may konting
Yeah, it has
moisture
to,
there.
You have to vent it through the air pa rin para may play. So,
Okay, since if we're coming here, like you said, you only do not service, you also have a lot of accessories.
Right.
Yun yung, minsan kasi people go overboard when it comes to accessorizing.
Yes. More often than
or
not. Yeah.
they're putting in the accessories that parang hindi naman dapat muna. What do you think they should, the first thing that they should be doing if they want to accessorize their bike?
Well, first of all, I ask the clients first what their priorities are. Kasi marami dyan, siyempre, kung first new bike owner or bagong purchase yung bike, siyempre, excited pa yan eh. The thrill of the purchase. So actually, business side, paganda yan kasi that's the best time to upsell. You sell them whatever they want to buy, di ba? That's when they're at most ready to they're most willing to part with their hard-earned money.
Obviously. Pero which would you say na prioritize?
Right. Of course, for what? I'd go first with safety. Safety accessories, safety equipment first. Second would be not really safety-based, but nakaka-contribute. Okay, like say for the first would be like all the protection for the bike itself. Sliders, radiator guards, and then for the safety, almost safety related, yung mga additional lights. If they go night riding or yung mga clients ako, marami from the province rin. So, madalas sila sa highway, they ride at night. So,
Extra
they need
lights.
extra auxiliary lights.
So, yung mga driving lights.
Yan. So, that's also part of safety rin. Then, other than that, may iba gusto busina. Kasi gusto nila
Sa akin talaga, yung busina especially the one that I used to commute, yung Vespa. That's the very first thing I did was a loud horn. Kasi invisible tayo pag nasa kalsada
Exactly, yeah.
No? And with the scooter, you can't rev bomb them. So talagang busina. I put a strong busina. So sa tingin ko, yun nga rin. Ako, yun yung first ko eh. Doon sa big bike, at least meron kang rev bomb for people to actually see you. And mas may presence ka kasi pag naka-big bike ka, people actually see you and they hear you or they actually feel you.
Right.
Pero sa scooter, wala eh.
But actually, a lot of people have the misconception and baka nagtataka sila, bakit yung mga kahit big bikes, bakit yung businang hina? Yun yung high pitch siya. Parang pit-pit lang kung tawagin nila. But actually, it's designed that way because of the frequency.
It will, mas lulusot eh.
The higher the frequency, the more directional it is. So you'll know where it's coming from. Kasi kung the lower it is, lower frequency, mas bassy siya, it can come from anywhere. It's going to surround you. So you don't know, you can't pinpoint where the sound's coming from. So you don't know where the bike's coming from.
Ang problema ng mga Pinoy, mga drivers outside, when they hear a small horn, they presume it's a small car or it's a small motorcycle.
Nakasanayan kasi natin.
Nakasanayan natin. Pag maliit. Pag malaki yung busina mo, malaki. Kaya nga, if you look at the mga SUVs, they put the biggest horn. The biggest horn, like yung malaki mong blow pump doon. And they put 4 of them.
Right.
Di ba? Para tapos ang kotse mo, we go. Kaya nagugulat yung tao pag ganun kalaki busina.
So yun.
So when it comes to safety-wise yon, we have basically to protect, di ba? Yung mga sliders, engine guards,
Yeah.
radiator guards, and then busina para naman marinig ka, and then driving lights. Now, what's the other one that you were suggesting? Kung after
After all of those, after that, what you can do, what we also offer are dash cam systems. So personally, our shop, what Moto Atelier carries is Chigi. So it's not only a dash cam. So parang sa kotse, you have a dash cam. You have a camera in front and the rear, which is recording all the time. Which is good for several reasons. For one, it's for safety, for insurance purposes, for accidents, ganon. Pero it also works like, instead of kasi marami ngayon, kahit na small bikes, may phone holder niyan, di ba? Cell phone holder. So instead of having your cell phone, physical cell phone on the dash, nagbe-mirroring na rin siya.
and
So
these are waterproof, di
these
ba?
are completely waterproof, IP67, dust water resistant. So you can park it under the sun, no problem. So yun. So it's
Kasi
all-in-one system.
Unless you're investing in a really good holder na may vibration reduction, there's a
Right.
chance pa masira yung phone mo
Right.
if you mount it in the dashboard.
Right.
Kasi I think they had an issue with those iPhones before
With the camera.
na the camera nasira because
Right,
of the
right.
vibration.
Vibration.
So with this one, you can always just put it in your pocket or in
Right.
your jacket.
Right.
And it's protected from the elements.
Yes.
And you're still projecting your navigation.
Right. Yan.
Does that also, can that connect to your intercom para
Yes,
meron
you do.
kang audio?
Yeah. So everything, your music, your phone calls, everything connects to your intercom system.
So your phone connects to Chigi, Chigi connects to your intercom?
No, the intercom connects to your phone.
Ah,
Your
okay.
phone connects to Chigi.
Okay.
Ganun.
So everything is still, but you can control your phone basically with the Chigi.
Yes, you'll see everything on the dash.
So AirPlay,
Everything.
ano
Yeah.
yun?
CarPlay,
CarPlay.
Android Auto, CarPlay, everything's wireless.
So when you're doing your music, doon
Right.
ka napipindot.
So maganda rin doon, yeah. With the security system also, with the dash cam. Even if it's parked, even when you turn off the bike, you park it, may bike sentry yan. So if you park it somewhere and somebody touches your bike, it's gonna start recording both audio and video.
But it won't light up the screen.
Wala, nothing. So they don't know they're being
They don't know
recorded.
being recorded.
Yeah.
Kasi kung nalaman nila, baka...
Yeah, then hinto na. So yeah.
Kasi isa pang problem yun, if you put your phone in your holder,
Yeah.
may
May
problema
chance
ka
pa
sa
rin.
nakaw eh.
May chance pa rin naman ako. Yeah.
I've seen people pag may mga
Tumatawid
dumadaanin,
lang.
yung mga riders nakahawak sa phone eh.
Yeah.
Tapos nakatingin eh. Kasi
You won't know,
ang
you won't
bilis
know.
eh.
Yeah,
Ang
you won't
bilis
know.
eh.
Yun na nga.
Diba? Sa tingin ko,
rigs.
by this time, pati quadlock, kabisado na nila i-twist
yeah.
eh.
Alam na.
Or they'll just pull it out eh.
Oo.
They don't care kung masira yung quadlock mo. Diba?
So yun.
Oh, that's ano. So yun yung iniisip ko eh, to put one in the scooter. Kasi right now, I like having sort of like a dash cam as safety eh.
Right.
Diba? Kasi kung may nangyari, at least you know
what's
especially with insurance, kasi kung if you're going to file an insurance against them or pati self-insurance mo at least, ano eh.
Protect yourself, friend. Yeah.
Oo, kasi buti na lang now, both my bikes, my Ducati and the Vespa, we have comprehensive.
Right.
Dati wala eh.
Oo.
They don't do comprehensive.
Right.
Ngayon,
Oo nga.
buti meron na eh. No? So, you can use that to file your claim. So ngayon, hindi mo na kailangan problemahin na meron akong action cam na nakakabit because that's always,
Right, it's
and
always on.
it's front and rear ba? You
Front
said
and rear. Front and
or
rear.
merong front lang?
Front and rear.
Front and
It's
rear.
So it's almost surround. And then the next, actually, I don't know when this is coming out. For the next generation, we'll have real-time viewing. So may SIM card na yun. So you can, while the bike is being used, you can
Monitor.
Not only you. You can have somebody at home watching over you.
Parang maraming mga ayaw na.
I know what you're getting at. yun. So that's a special feature na you might not want to review.
No, that's something you would put if you're using it for your messenger bikes.
Right.
So you can track where your messenger is and you can actually see where their bike is going. Or if you have a bike rental.
Right.
So you can actually full-time monitor where it's going.
You can use it for work. Kunyari, may fleet kayo, may messengerial service kayo or delivery service. You keep track of everybody. So it's not just...
Pero sa ngayon, it doesn't have a locator. Kasi
Ngayon,
wala pa SIM card.
walang SIM card.
Next, because of the SIM
Next
card,
gen, yes.
it's going to have a locator now.
Right, yeah.
So which means people can not just view you, but can track your exact location.
Right. And you can give access to whoever you want to give access to. So,
Marami nga ngayon, pati location service ng phone, pinapatay So,
bakit kaya?
Kaya nga, hindi ko alam Ako, I leave it all di ba? Di ba? Alam ni Abby palagi ko nasaan ako Abby, Gilbert. By the way, si Gilbert kasi, we've known each other since, kailan mo nag-start MIB? 2001, 2002?
Yeah, ganun,
No, so MIB is one of my first na bike club. Now we formed this way before sa ano pa tayo, Motorcycle Philippines.
Right.
Hindi pa nga bukas sa expressway when we
Wala pa.
started riding. No?
BGC was still called the Fort.
The Fort. Doon pa yung tambayan natin sa Shell
Shell.
Fort.
Yun lang nandun doon.
No, we started actually Rockwell. Di ako nabutan mo. The Starbucks Rockwell, and then we moved. Then we moved to Shell. Daming happening doon But definitely, it was nice to be catching up again with Gilbert. Hopefully, we can ride again soon. Kasi hindi ka na masyado nagre-ride
Wala, I'm always in the shop.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Tapos, pero mahilig din siya mag-bicycle
Yeah.
Your shop, wala na?
Bike shop, wala na. So,
Wala
but
na.
I can work on bikes here if they want. So, hindi lang big bikes.
Pwede.
Pwede yung bisikleta. If you want to bring it in, no problem.
Okay. You guys, thank you very much. This is Gilbert again. So if you guys need any servicing, accessories, you can visit Gilbert here in Moto Atelier. By the way, they are also the HJC, the distributor for HJC. And if you need brand new
Hondas,
sila rin. So since this is part of the JT Triumph Group,
Actually, we're separate,
Separate?
but we're somehow connected because we're the same property.
so pwede ka na tulungan sa lahat ng
Right,
yun. No? So guys, thank you.
Right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.